Hello and welcome back to the 8th episode of my Pokémon Emerald Catch Everything run. Today we are going to be taking on Mauville, and we are also dangerously close to having a useful Zubat, because at level 21 I did check, and at level 21 it learns Wing Attack, and then at level 22 it actually evolves, so we should be able to get some mileage from it pretty soon. However, the one issue that we are going to face is that this area has a lot of electric types, but we can cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, this is Mauville. So we can see we've got a Pokemon Center, a gym with someone stood in front of it, the game corner, a few houses, and of course a Pokemart. But most importantly, arguably, the first thing we're going to do is come in here, and this is the bike shop. So we will finally be able to get hold of a bike. And in this game there are two different types of bike. So the first one, which we are going to be using, is going to be the Mac bike, and the other type is the Acro bike. So the Mac bike is faster and is one of the fastest bikes in Pokemon, I think, and then the Acro bike is for a much slower bike, much more like kind of a Gen 1 bike, but with some differences. So it can also do various kind of acrobatic maneuvers, hence the name, and jump around and hop around in ways that the Mac bike cannot. So this is going to be really useful for hatching eggs and gathering steps for various other things, such as building happiness on Pokemon, because it is very quick. You can see how much faster we're moving using this than when we were just riding along, or just running along, or walking along. So yeah, I can also use select to get on and off the bike, which will be a big help. So that was the first thing to take care of. The next thing is we're going to come in this house and this guy, and there is someone on TV, so let's see. And yes, so when you do an interview with a TV person in this game, and next time you go into a house, this the TV show will tell you what you said. So because I said Abra when we spoke to that person in the fan club, that's what we get to see. By the way, and it's not the most important, but Abra is a great saying. I've been using Abra a lot in conversation recently. 94 points. So I don't know what the best possible score on points is, or if it's even anything other than random. But anyway, so this is the Rock Smash dude. So we finally get hold of Rock Smash, and that is going to allow us to go back to Rustboro, but only once we've defeated the gym in this town. So that's kind of one thing that's on our agenda. The other thing to do, but unfortunately I think it's actually a fairly difficult gym. As far as I remember, there's a Manectric that's about level 26 or something, and at the moment we're not able to take that on, but we will be. There are some trainers and stuff that we can fight before we do so, there's plenty of opportunities to get experience. This woman here gives us the coin case, I believe, and this is the person that we needed Harbour Mail for, so we picked up some Harbour Mail when we were in Slateport, and if we give it to her, she gives us the coin case. So we are going to be using that to gamble, because that's the responsible children's game, and particularly you can get some quite good stuff from gambling in this game. But we're actually not going to be doing any gambling. I think we're just going to spend money to buy coins, and then use those coins to buy TMs and stuff. So if we come in here, we obviously can heal up, which I've already done off camera, and we can also just speak to these people. I don't think anyone's interesting apart from this guy in the top left, who apparently we won't forget. And he's the storyteller. Legendary trainers. Yeah, sure, we'll hear. Are you a trainer? And tell me. It's the birth of a new legend. Okay, I don't fully understand what he does. You should probably look it up, and I'll probably do that between episodes. But now we can carry on around here, and we are pretty close to being ready to at least take on the fight outside the gym, and we can learn rollout here if we want to, but I'm not going to be learning that, and I guess we'll come inside the games corner and I can show it off a little bit. there's a lot of people to speak to and various different games. So you can use up to 3 coins in the slots, and the slots in this game, I don't know, they can be, I think they're probably weighted to let you win, so over time, on average, you will actually make money if you play slots, I think. We do get a free Torchic doll, so that's, you know, good. I don't know if that changes depending on what starter you used or not, but that'll be a fun detail if it does. Coins are needed, so we do need to buy some coins before we can actually do anything. And unlike the first game, we don't really get any free coins. I think he may have just given us some. Yeah, so we get 20 free coins from that guy, and you can wager in various different ways. So I've apparently bet on something. We'll see, and we do not win. So I don't know if I can get out. Yeah, there we go. And so there are some things for sale here that you can use coins to buy. So you can buy some pretty useless dolls, or you can, so those dolls go in your house, or you can buy some TMs, and these are really good. I think 32 is double team, and then these 3 are, I'm not sure about 29, but I think 35 is flamethrower, 24 is thunderbolt, and 13 is ice beam, off the top of my head. So they are all very good moves. 95 power, 100 accuracy, special moves, and we will be using some of those later on in the run without spoiling too much. So this is Wally, who we met back in Peterburg, and he wants to take on the gym, but he's probably not ready yet, so we have to beat him up to make him realise that. So we can hopefully do a decent amount of damage. I don't know if this thing has confusion or not. It probably does, and it will probably do quite a lot to us if it manages to use it on Zubat, because it is super effective. But hopefully we just hit this and it kills, and then the problem goes away. Ralts isn't very strong anyway, so it wouldn't have killed us if we had been hit with a confusion, but it's some free experience for us, which is good. And we defeat Wally. So his level 16 Ralts really isn't too much of a challenge, and he says he's off back to Verdanturf. So yeah, that won't be the last we see of Wally, I'm sure, and it kind of hints that Verdanturf is off in that direction. And then we also get a further hint that we should go and visit Verdanturf sometime. So yeah, we aren't going to be taking on the gym just yet, and Scott somehow magics out of the game corner. He didn't hold anything back, so he's impressed that we beat up our friend Wally, so that's good. I guess that's the sort of world that Pokemon encourages. Why am I running when I could? And there's some trainers just over here on the beach that we're going to take on. This will be the first fight of the episode, I guess. So there's 3 different routes out of Mauville. The way you can go, well, there's actually 4, including the cycling road and Route 110, which we've just been on. But it's very much a crossroads, so you can come east, and there are some trainers and a lake or a river for you to surf across if you have surf, which we do not at this point. And then the other way there is Verdanturf Town, and that leads to Rustbro once you have Rock Smash. And then north there is where you continue with the story. So again, you need Rock Smash to really make a dent in that, which is why it's so important for us to beat the gym. But that's probably going to be the last thing we do, just because I want to be as high a level as possible, because it can be a bit of a tough fight if you're not, and I would want to fight all of these trainers anyway, so we may as well. Probably should have killed the Shroomish rather than attacking the Zigzagoon, just because Shroomish can be quite annoying. We do get a crit, so that means the next one will kill, but it is probably going to stun spore us now for our troubles. Although Zigzagoon's apparently trying to also be annoying, so you know, we can't win, I guess. We do manage to finish off the Shroomish, and it still hasn't statused any of our Pokemon, so that's a win in my book. And hopefully Zigzagoon can finish off, or can be finished off by Zubat's leech life. Yep. So thankfully we don't miss, and this is all going pretty smoothly so far, so that's good. The levels here aren't ridiculous, they're only level 14, and the thing about there are a lot of trainers available in this area, and I think it's sort of expected that you don't fight all of them, because the levels don't really scale up too much, and it does mean a lot of them are very easy. So this one we've probably made more difficult for ourselves by doing it as a double battle rather than 2 single battles, but you know. And Aaron takes absolutely nothing from that. I could switch out, but I don't think it's worth doing so. I am instead just going to Bite and Confusion. And despite the fact neither of those are super effective, Aaron's special defense is much worse than its physical defense. Zubat has been sand attacked quite a lot, so apparently it is going to just miss, but that shouldn't matter too much, because Curlier is still 100% accurate. Hopefully Bite hits and finishes it off, and it lived on 1 HP because of course, and now both of our Pokemon have reduced accuracy. Yeah. So I've been enjoying doing the series so far. I've recorded a few episodes in advance to try and just make sure I can be consistent, because I think it's a good thing to try and stick to a schedule. So my plan is to upload on either Tuesday or Wednesday and Saturday every week, and hopefully if I can kind of create a habit of doing that and get some videos stored up, then that will just allow me to kind of continue with that and make sure there is like a constant production, because I think that's quite important for a YouTube channel. Especially, I do want to do some other non-Pokemon content. I've been kind of working on maybe some Minecraft stuff, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. And anyway, we get the first good move of the Pokemon, so I think I'm going to swap Astonish for Wing Attack. Wing Attack is Stab and Astonish is not. Astonish is physical, whereas Bite is special, but they both have quite redundant type coverage. So Dark and Ghost both hit Psychic super effectively. They just hit a lot of things for similar damage. So there isn't really too much point having both. And we do get a girl's number, so that's good, and we can now carry on onto the beach. There is at least one item on this beach, I believe, so we can get that one. And then I think this guy is a trainer. Yeah, we don't get access to the good rod just yet, but if we did have, then we would be able to catch some new Pokemon, but unfortunately we cannot get hold of it until later on in the game once we get Surf. So at least for now we are limited to some weaker Pokemon and not too much variety. We are confused, so I could switch out, but hopefully it will just break through. Finally, Bite does kill. I'm surprised Bite didn't kill before that, but Tentacle does have very good special defense. I believe the Pokemon... Yeah, so we're all done for now. We've got one more trainer. I'm not entirely sure what Pokemon are available in the water here. I would assume it's Magikarp and Tentacle, but I can't say for certain. I do have some of the other routes marked out, but... yeah, unfortunately not this one. And so if we go for a Bite, I guess, Wing Attack is quadruple resisted, and I should probably just switch out because Magnemite is... an annoying Pokemon. I think it has more resistances than any other Pokemon in the game. So with Steel and Electric has the most possible resistances, and therefore it can be pretty annoying to kill sometimes if you don't have a fire, fighting or ground move. There really aren't many moves that hit neutrally on it, so at least in this generation. In later generations, Steel resists slightly fewer things, but in this gen it is a bit of a cheat code, defensively at least. So with double kick, well, knock it out, and it should be an easy win. So we're all done on this bit of the beach for now, and we can instead head west from Mauville and begin taking on a bit of the next route, which has some new Pokemon for us as well. So we're going to be heading on to Route 117, which is actually optional to do at the moment, and possibly throughout optional. I don't think there's anything this way, but the main thing that's important about Route 117 is the daycare, which is something we are going to be using pretty extensively later on, but for now not too much. And I guess I can show you inside. So the way it works is you give 2 Pokemon to the daycare, and if they are compatible to breed together, they produce an egg, which this guy out here gives you, and then you can run back and forth until it hatches, basically. So let's come over here and take on some of the trainers, and then once we get to some of the grass, I'll talk about which Pokemon are available to be caught. So we're starting to get a bit stronger now. Rather than level 14, we've got some level 17s, but thankfully the level 17 is, in fact, let's switch that to there. I like having my stab moves up top, basically, and we should kill Makahita fairly easily with Wing Attack, I think. It may survive one, I'll be interested to see. But once we level up Zubat one more time, we will have an evolution. So it'll be our second stage Pokemon. And because of all the breeding we will be doing later on, we should actually be able to get a Crobat fairly soon. It's a happiness evolution from Golbat to Crobat, so yeah, you can actually just grind it out whenever you choose to, if you are willing to just run back and forth for a long time, and especially now you've got the bike, it's much easier to do that. So we're just going to pick up these Wepier berries, and this can be quite a good place to plant berries if you are going to be doing breeding, just because they're right there. So if we speak to this guy, we meet one of our first triathletes, I guess. I don't know if we've seen any more. And Doduo, which I think is probably a new Pokemon we haven't seen yet, normal flying type. But hopefully Wing Attack does enough that we don't have to switch out. And thankfully it pursuits, so that won't do too much damage, and we kill it. So we're getting ever closer to getting a Golbat. I don't really like Golbat. I don't think it looks just the weird kind of unhinged mouth, slightly terrifying. So now we are up to the grass that we see in this area. So there are 6 Pokemon available here, and 2 new Pokemon, including two new Pokemon. So the first Pokemon here is Oddish, that is a 40%. Poochyena, which is 30%. Illumise, which is 18%. Marill at 10%. Seedot at 1%. And Volbeat also at 1%. So there are 2 1% encounters on this route, and but thankfully we've already got one of them. So we are just looking for a Volbeat and an Illumise, are the 2 Pokemon we're going to have to catch here. In terms of the Pokemon you can get from fishing, there is a patch of water up above, or just over there. And the Pokemon you can get from fishing are Magikarp at 70% and Goldeen at 30% with the old rod, and there are some other Pokemon with the good rod once you come back a bit later on. So this guy is one of the Pokemon breeders that lives on this route, and he has 6 Pokemon. I always remember this quite clearly because I used to train on this route, I think, when I was playing through Ruby as a kid. And he can be a fairly nice experience farm. All his Pokemon at very low level, so we should be able to just chew through them pretty quickly. And then after this we should hopefully evolve our Zubat. And I will switch out just because Aron is very annoying, and also we have already leveled up, so we will get our Golbat after this battle, which will be very useful. I had a feeling it was not too high level. I should have used double kick, but Ember may kill anyway. Yeah, it does. We get a crit, which I'm 90% sure doesn't matter. And then let's just switch back into Zubat. It might actually be slower than Tailo, just because Tailo's quite fast, and Zubat isn't the fastest Pokemon, it doesn't seem like. I've been outsped by stuff I didn't expect to be outsped by. And we get to quick attack, so I guess that doesn't matter too much at all. So we can continue to clean up some experience. Get a Poochyena, which we can heal up a bit on, I guess, which will save me a trip to the Pokemon Center. Just by using Leech Life. So there is one way you can shortcut to a Volbeat if you would rather not hunt down a 1% encounter. So Volbeat and Illumise both produce eggs that can be... It has a 50% chance of being either a Volbeat or an Illumise. So if we catch 2 Illumise or something that can breed with Illumise, then we can breed that, get an egg, and hatch it, and there's a 50% chance it will be Volbeat. So I might choose to show that off rather than just grinding wild Pokemon. I'm not trying to overlevel anything at the moment, really. And I don't. Now that Zubat is about to evolve, I've got much less reason to just grind out wild Pokemon for a 1% when I can choose to do it in a different way. So I might do that, and it might be cool to show off that mechanic as well. But we do kill Makuhita, so that's good. We have finally finished that fight. It takes a bit of time, but it's worth it for this moment. And there we go, so we have our Zubat evolved into a Golbat, and that's going to be very handy to be going forward for us, even though the gym we're about to take on is electric type. So there are even more trainers on this route. I think there's a huge number on this route. I was going to say there's more than any other route, but I have no basis to say that with any certainty. Level 17 Doduo, which we do outspeed now that we have evolved, and we do also one-hit kill it now that we've evolved, so you can already see just how much better Golbat is than Zubat. And Golbat was a final form evolution until this generation, so Crobat was introduced, I believe, was it? Actually, maybe Crobat was Gen 2 rather than Gen 3. But in the first generation games, you can only evolve Zubat once. It wasn't until the happiness mechanic was added that you could evolve it twice. So here we're going to do... I guess I'll fight this as one double battle rather than 3 single battles. Fortunately no triple battles until Gen 5, I don't think. And that was a mechanic that never really went anywhere, I don't think. I don't think I've ever seen a competitive triple battle, just because there's a bit too much going on. I do try and follow a little bit of what's going on in competitive Pokemon. I'm not a very good player, but I have been known to play occasionally, so maybe I'll post some games on Showdown or some highlight, or if I have a particularly good game on Showdown at some point. I'd like to, it's one of those things I'd like to be good at, but I've never wanted to put the time into. And VGC is not playing on a simulator. I don't have a Switch, so I can't play Sword and Shield, and therefore that kind of limits the places you can play VGC. And then ultimately I just enjoy singles more. I think it's a more accessible metagame as well, slightly. Probably a bit more stale though at times. Although having said that, it seems like absolutely everyone runs Togekiss in VGC at the moment, so there isn't necessarily that much rotation there either. And Psychic Brandy sends out Ralts, so Golbat should be able to take care of this pretty easily with Leech Life, and should hopefully also get some health back. So Leech Life, although I've slandered it a lot throughout this playthrough, is actually proving fairly useful, although we are about to tank a Confusion, so maybe... Oh no, so, you know, we haven't lost any health during this fight, which is good, given that we're up against a Psychic type. And after taking so long to get it to level 22, it's now racing through the levels, and we're almost level 23 already. And there is this area up here that we're going to come into. I think there's only one item up here, maybe there's a bit more. I'll check if there's a hidden item next to it, but I doubt there is. And we did get an Oddish, so I'll probably just cut this out. Or, I mean, just run away. Yeah, I should have... I could have waited to catch Oddish, but it's not really in the spirit of the challenge that I've been doing, so... And this guy has weirdly long viewing, but I think he is probably the second to last, the penultimate trainer. And he has a Dustox, which we should be able to one-hit kill. The wing attack will not be particularly useful in the gym, but at least in the surrounding areas there are a lot of bug types, a lot of grass types, and just other things that Golbat can hit for neutral damage. Dustox is actually the final form evolution of one of the Wurmples, and the other one is Beautifly, so we have now seen both of these. And once I get the XP share, I might start evolving some of these things, just so I don't have to do it all in one go, or I might choose to do it all in one go and just make a mega episode out of it. And yeah, so that's the final trainer on the route down there. So you can see she is a spinner, so she can be a bit annoying, I guess, for some speedrunners, but it's fine for us. I am just going to check if there are any hidden items, or whether this is just so we do get one repel from that, which is good. We'll probably use that before too long, I'm sure. And now we can defeat the final trainer on this route, and then we'll be into Verdanturf town and we can have a look around. So again, yeah, we've kind of, those two bug types, because they were final form evolutions, give us a lot of XP, so we're again sort of racing through this level. And it would be quite a good time to, I could save some of these trainers and fight them later, because I don't need all the experience probably at the moment, but okay, I don't know, I guess I might as well. I did check the level on the Manectric in the gym, it's actually only level 24. I had it in my head it was level 27. So we probably don't need to do too much more grinding, but I will get Golbat to level 24 first, and then I'll probably switch to one of the others. We've still got the Cycling Road trainers to defeat, which is mostly going to be Blaziken. There's a lot of Magnemites, and then we've also got some trainers north of Mauville to take on, so there's, you know, we've still got a lot of experience before we even have to take on the gym. And only having 3 Pokemon at this stage just means the experience isn't spread out too thinly, so we're generally quite likely to be over leveled for most things. I think the game sort of scales as if you have 4 or 5 and choose not to fight everything, whereas we are clearly being a bit more completionist than a casual playthrough might be. And now I am going to switch Golbat out, and just to kind of try and keep the levels pretty even. After we get another girl's number, and we can switch from Golbat to Curlier, which still has the Quick Claw, which it probably doesn't need at this point, but hey. So this is Verdanturf Town, so there's very clean air here as part of the lore, which is why Wally moves here, so the wind never blows in this direction apparently, and so even though they live next to a volcano, they never really have to face ash coming in this direction. And here we hear about the cave, the tunnel through to Rustbro, and the guy who's been digging that tunnel. And because of the Whisper making an uproar, he can't use machines, so he has to dig it himself. Once we get Rock Smash, we will be able to actually help, but for now it's worth coming in here because there is a trainer, and we should be able to. I imagine he has a Geodude or a Machop, so we should be able to take that on with Curlier pretty easily. Yeah, Geodude. I do quite like Geodude. It's a shame that its rock ground typing is so useless, because from a competitive point of view, other than Rhyperior to some extent because of Solid Rock, there really just isn't too much use for Golem. I've never been a fan of any trade evolutions, just because they're really annoying to do when you're a kid playing through Pokemon by himself. So if we do finish off Machop, then we cruise through that pretty easily. There's also another area that we can get to through coming through this bit. So if we come up here, we can see that that is the Rock Smash rocks that we have to destroy to finish the tunnel. And once we do that, we will get access to Strength as well, which can be a mildly useful move for some Pokemon. Normal type attacks are not that great because they don't hit anything for super effective. So from an in-game point of view, they really don't add too much, and even competitively, they don't really give you extra coverage really. But still worth something, because it's an 80 power, 100 accuracy move, and that's pretty reliable and has decent PP. So if we kind of check around here somewhere, so I'm pressing A on all the floors, yeah, so we get some black glasses, which are going to be useful when we speak to this guy in a second. And we get the HP up, but our bag is full, so I'm going to have to toss something out, just because an HP up is quite a good item. So instead I'm going to get rid of the orange mail, I guess. I should sell some things and or just generally clean up my bag, but I will do that off camera. So now we can speak to this guy, and he seems to be wearing glasses, but apparently he was hunting for them, who knows how. So we do get some black glasses. Those give a 20% boost to dark type moves, so I'm going to give those to Zubat just for now, or Golbat just for now, and we've also picked up an item on Zigzagoon, so let's check that. I'm so bad at that. I don't know if we'll be able to take it. And we get an X attack, which might come in handy at some point, I guess. I don't really use X items for in-game play. I know they're very useful for speedruns and if you're kind of trying to brute force your way through something, but I don't know, it feels a little cheap for how easy the games are anyway, from a non-speedrun or anything point of view. I would much rather just play through normally and lose a few fights, I guess. But I may change my mind on that and, and abuse them if the moment comes. And so now we have kind of done everything to the west of Mauville, apart from explore this area. So I guess I'll come and heal up and talk to some of the people around Verdanturf, and then that will probably be the end of the episode. So next episode I will do the cycling road and some north of, well, I might do north of Mauville now. I'll see how I'm doing for time once we've finished exploring Verdanturf, and it would help if I didn't keep making errors like that. And we can learn Fury Cutter there. It's not a great move, but it has some niche uses, I guess. And there is also a battle tent here, so similar to the one we saw in Slateport, but this time with a different gimmick, I assume. But not one that I am very familiar with. It's not one I've played through myself in the past. But we can. There's a few other houses, and we will eventually bump into Wally again. And we get told about Victory Road, basically Evergrande City. And some kind of lore background from two identically dressed women. Very useful. And here we get to see... So I'm not exactly sure the numbers, but basically that person tells you... Good job I didn't actually use teleport there. That person tells you how much your Pokemon likes you, so by... we can see that we've had Curlier for longer, and therefore we had a slightly more positive review from her. And once our Zubat gets high enough, it will evolve, so we'll probably be checking back there periodically just to see where we're up to. And this is Wanda's house, so she has a sign next to it, and Wanda is Wally's aunt, I believe. He's been digging a tunnel, and it turns out it's Wally's aunt's daughter. No, I don't know. It's who's digging the tunnel. There's some link to Wally, basically. And he's very driven. I lost you, Red, but I'm not feeling down anymore because I have new purpose in life. So he's going to take on Pokemon gyms and become a great trainer. So good luck with that, Wally. I think he's more sympathetic a rival than some of the others. And so if we... Yeah, we're all done with Verdanturf pretty much, apart from the battle tent. So if we just come in here and have a talk to the people in here. I don't think there's any TMs or anything, but maybe there is one in here. Pokemon with a gentle nature probably won't enjoy hurting its opponents. Okay, so this is, I think, something towards about kind of... And we do get a TM. I think that's TM45 Attract. I think it's Attract, which is kind of bad confusion. It's confusion where the other Pokemon doesn't hit itself and only works on Pokemon of the opposite gender, but it's still only 50% to happen. So yeah, Immobilized by Love is just a worse confusion basically in every way. Let's just find out. There is one crucial rule that must be obeyed. Trainers are permitted only to switch their Pokemon in and out. Otherwise, so basically, you set the Pokemon off against each other, and then just hope that you win enough dice rolls to win. So basically, you cannot choose which moves your Pokemon use. It will just use them randomly, and you have no control. And that doesn't sound hugely fun because I don't want a dice simulator. But yeah, so we're all done with Route 117 and Verdanturf. First encounter we get Illumise, and it is female, so we do choose to breed for a Volbeat. This will be very useful. I think Confusion might kill it. It can take one more, and hopefully this doesn't kill. And there we go. So I just need to check what egg group Illumise is, and I'll do that off camera, and then I should hopefully once I've caught it, sorry about that, I don't know what's happening. yeah, so there we go. We captured Illumise, and I will now, instead of hunting for a 1% encounter, I will come up to the daycare centre. So I've checked, and Wurmple is an effective choice. Illumise is in 2 egg groups. It's in human-like and also in bug. So Wurmple fits the bug category. And yeah, so now we can close this. Wurmple fits the bug category, and Pokemon like Abra, Hitmonchan, Jinx also all work for breeding an Illumise, so you can use that if you so desire. And yeah, so I'm just going to deposit these 2, and then hopefully just run around and we should get an egg. So I have been running back and forth for far longer than I probably should have, just going like this, back and forth along this line. You can pretty much go all the way from Verdant Turf to the beach, and waiting for this guy to stand out like this, and that means he has an egg for us. And doing this has probably been slower than if I just hunted for a 1% encounter, and it's probably also boosted our Crobat's level, our Golbat's happiness, to the point that we can't be far off being a Crobat. I don't... it's you raising your Pokemon. So I did just take an egg, didn't I? Do I now have 2 eggs? I also switched from Wurmple to Abra because it was taking too long with Wurmple, and I don't think it's any faster with Abra, to be honest, but I still decided to wait. And then, of course, immediately after it taking forever to get the first egg, we get a second one straight away. Rather than have to deal with a 3rd egg, though, I am actually going to take one of them out. And now we have finally got our first hatch. So this has 50% chance to be an Illumise, and thankfully it is not. It is a Volbeat. So we won the coin flip first try, which is very lucky, and we've now caught a Volbeat. So we can add that to the list. And just in case you were wondering, we have got a few levels on that Illumise, so we got 10 levels, so it's actually now one of our strongest Pokemon, so it will now be riding with us for a while. So that's going to be the end of the episode for today. Next episode we're going to head up this way, and there are some trainers to fight and a sort of mini boss, I guess. So we're going to take that on, and we will also head south from Mauville and take on the cycling road. But for now, that's going to be everything. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time.